So over the last few days, I finally started going into the Vostok Apartments for the first time on this save. And I gotta be honest with you, it didn't really go how I expected it to. So up to this point, I kind of figured you go into Vostok, take more risk, and you start getting better stuff out of it. But after a couple of runs, it just didn't really feel like that. First run was pretty chill. I found an MP5 SD really early on, which I almost always end up using as a secondary, and then I just kinda looted for a while. Like, I'm talking almost 20 minutes, barely saw anything. Eventually I see a soldier off in the distance, drop him pretty quick, and it just goes right back to being quiet. You know, I'm kind of curious to see what the developer has in store for, maybe there's consequences for killing the guards in Vostok. Because, I mean, you're killing military members after all. That's not exactly something... It doesn't exactly equate to just killing a bandit like in Area 5, right? Either which way though, this first run to Vostok was almost just downright eerie how quiet it was. I mean, I think I seen only one soldier the whole entire run. I heard another one at one point, but I just never ended up making contact with him. I guess some highlights include though, I managed to find my first inverter on this run, which is crazy because I hadn't seen one for almost like 35 hours at this point. But yeah, there was like tons of food, mostly MP5Ks, which are always good because, you could just take those to Gunsmith and sell them, barter for some pretty easy money. And then I found my last can of snuffs that I needed to turn in for the Gunsmith task, so right on. Overall though, I think the entire length of my first run ran about 45 minutes, maybe almost an hour, before it was time to head back and go feed the cat, of course. Crazy enough, on the way back home going through the minefield, I actually spotted a burning helicopter through the trees. And I'm thinking, alright, this is probably going to be something big. I mean, it could be anything. I've never seen a helicopter out here in minefield yet, so let's go check it out. Well, thankfully I had enough bandages on me to kind of just shrug it off. It wasn't really a big deal. So I continue working my way up to it in the dark, and I realize it's right next to one of the guard towers. And it's just empty. No one there, no movement, nothing. Which already feels kind of weird. And yeah, to my disappointment, there's just nothing here worthwhile. Pretty much nothing. Like, I couldn't even find anything on the ground this time. I was honestly super disappointed with this special crate and with the military crates. All hope is not lost. I could still stop at the gunsmith and maybe pick up a few things to trade for these MP5s that I picked up. And I get there and he doesn't have anything. I'm also thinking, like, why does this dude sell Jakari backpacks, man? Oh my god, get this crap out of here, dude. Anyways, I finally make it back to the tent just in time to feed the damn cat. This almost like strikes way too close to home. But anyways, the cat is fed. I figure, alright, screw it. Maybe it's time to go to bed in real life. At this point, it was probably about 1 o'clock in the morning or midnight, somewhere around there.
The next day.
On my way back to the cabin to consolidate some of the loot I pulled out of Vostok, I'm at the school and I stop at the same crate I always check. And, yeah, okay. I mean, I'll take it. Night vision and the Skrama 240. I've been looking for these things for like how long now? I couldn't even put a timeline on it. And I find it here, of all places. Not in Vostok, not in the dangerous zones, just sitting in a random crate at school. Alright, whatever. Let's just get back to Vostok. So starting off on this second run, I'm definitely starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. I knew the layout, I knew the route I was going, had better gear, even brought the brand new NVGs with me this time. So I'm moving through it a lot cleaner. Soon as I get in, rooftop guard, clapped, and then I hear the BT. And yeah, that kind of changes the whole feeling of this run already. So you're not really trying to fight it, obviously, you're just trying not to exist near it. Then it starts storming. And between the rain and the engine noise, I couldn't really hear anything. I kinda copped out, left, and reset the seed. I come back, and now it's daytime, which is honestly worse if you know anything about doing Vostok runs. But basically, you're way more exposed, and everything just feels way more precarious. And at this point I'm kind of thinking, why does this feel worse than the last run? Like, I'm doing better, I have more fluid movements, but it just feels less rewarding. I check the usual crates again, same spots, and yeah, nothing. Which is kind of crazy considering what I just found outside of this place. So about 3 or 4 apartment blocks later, to my great disappointment, I find a special crate with pretty much nothing that special in it. There's just no other way to explain it. I mean, the 308 ammo is cool, but another PM5, I was getting pretty sick of this place at this point. After about, I want to say another half hour of looting, I started checking out the backside of the apartments of Vostok, because I had never gone back here. It kind of like close to the terminal entrance, and to my great surprise, I actually start hearing aggressive voice lines from a soldier. At first it sounds far, and then I catch him for like a half second. It was like something straight out of a horror movie. And then he's just gone. Lost track of him right after that, and now I've got no idea where he went. So I'm kind of just taking cover from wall to wall, and now I'm just sitting there, trying to figure out if he's outside, or if he's inside of this building that he just ran behind. And then I hear footsteps inside. Oh, yeah, no, there's 2 of them. That's not good. I'm not dealing with that. I have a cat back at home that I could go be feeding right now. It actually kind of reoccurred to me, like, if I get pincered and die here, this whole save is kaput. It kind of just like brought me back to reality there for a second. At this point, I'm not even thinking about loot anymore. I've got to get back and feed Mrs. Whiskers, because the cat's almost dead, and I realize, holy shit, I'm gonna have to sprint all the way through Outpost. And then, a jet flies overhead. Which normally would be sick, but I don't really care right now. These things always give me a jump scare every time I hear them. I'm just not trying to lose my cat. Eventually I end up getting shot at, making my crossover over to the tent. Drop the bandit, pretty easy. I finally get back to the tent. The cat's at like nothing. Feed him, instant relief. I'm like, holy crap, man. I thought for sure I was going to lose the cat on this run. I decided to head back out one more time before bed, and I spot a burning helicopter. Same kind of thing as before. I start moving up, and I immediately get shot at. The guy's moving quick as hell. I check the ground around me. Artillery spot. Nothing. Open up the crate. And initially I'm like, what the f***? SSV and a thermal blanket? I don't want to sound cliche, but that's actually kind of insane. And it's not even in Vostok, like, come on. The weird contrast between the loot I found in Vostok and just the random loot I've been getting inside of these military crates is just blowing my mind. So now I'm thinking, alright, I'm not leaving yet. I want to go check out the loot in this downed helicopter real quick. And then I immediately start taking fire from the other side, almost like a culture shock coming back from apartments. The amount of engagements I've had up to this point have been slim to none. The fact that I'm getting so many right now in Outposts is something I was not prepared for. I'm just slowly pushing closer to the helicopter. I end up taking cover inside of a tree so they can't get line of sight at me, and I'm just trying to get a clean shot on them. I end up dropping one, the other one tries running, and yeah, old buddy's not getting away. So now I'm like, I gotta be home free, right? I just start sprinting towards the helicopter because I'm just literally dying to know what's inside right now. At this point I'm thinking to myself, this is probably the most exposed I've been this whole run. And then out of nowhere, I just start getting mag dumped. But to my surprise, there's actually an M78 in here with pretty high durability. That's actually pretty good. And it's not even in Vostok. So I'm just trying to figure out where this guy is at, where he's shooting me from, and I just cannot see him to save my life. So I just try to make some space so I can pick up that M78. I get back on top of the helicopter, I check the military crates, which are filled with nothing as usual. and then I start taking fire again. At first it just sounds like it's far off, but then the rounds actually start landing pretty much right next to me. Go like full loot goblin mode and just start grabbing the M78 and the field rations. Like, I'm just gonna drop whatever I don't need and just try to make this stuff fit. This is the first time the risk has actually felt like it's paid off. It kind of feels like I just robbed the crashed helicopter and got away with it clean. So I ended up doing a few more runs in the apartments after this, and they were pretty much the same. Mostly food, some rare task items, and that's when it kind of hit me. Like, the best loot I got all week was from military crates in Area 5 and one downed helicopter. Not in Vostok. So yeah, maybe it's not as good as I thought it was, or maybe it's just RNG. Either way, at this point I was kind of feeling like perhaps Vostok is not the end-all be-all when it comes to loot in this game.